How do you feel great on vacation? Like really good? Easy. You go to Aruba. You'll spend your time relaxing on cool white sand beaches and floating in healing blue water. You'll immerse yourself in natural wonder and find your center on an island where things move at your speed. You won't just feel great, you'll feel relaxed, renewed, and ready for life. That's the Aruba effect. Plan your trip at Aruba.com.
Start your wellness journey at Whole Foods Market, where it's Jumpstart January through the 16th. Stock up on supplements with some of the year's biggest savings. Plus, save on air-chilled organic boneless skinless chicken breast, organic Honeycrisp apples, organic large Hass avocados, and more. And since Whole Foods Market is the only certified organic national grocer, it's easy to make them your wellness destination. Jumpstart your January now at Whole Foods Market.
This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 2424. How to get my family to eat healthy, and don't believe these common fitness myths, by Chalene Johnson of ChaleneJohnson.com. And I'm your host and narrator, Dr. Neil. Hey there, happy Monday, and welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, where I act as your narrator of the best health and fitness blogs, all for free, and always with a bit of my commentary at the end. And don't forget, we have a bunch of shows covering different topics. Just search for Optimal Living Daily in any podcast app to find them. But for now, let's get right to today's 2 posts and start optimizing your life. How to Get My Family to Eat Healthy, by Chalene Johnson of ChaleneJohnson.com. Have you recently made an effort to clean up your diet, but you struggle getting your family eating healthy too? You want them to support you in making changes to be healthier, and you want them to be healthier too because you care about them. But how do you get them to ditch the junk food they become so accustomed to and adopt better habits without the backlash? The answer is making a gradual transition and staying positive. Get the whole family eating healthy. Growing up a food junkie. Growing up in Michigan, my house was positioned above a convenience store. A typical meal for me consisted of grape soda and Hostess pies. My father was convinced that if food had a long shelf life, there was something in it that would make us live long too. We had the worst possible eating habits, and both sides of my family were genetically predisposed for obesity. Trust me, if we could make the change, so can your family. From junk food junkies to clean eaters. My family made the transition when I was in my early teens, and my mom began teaching jazzercise. I remember seeing how happy working out made her and how good she felt about herself. And without even realizing it, our family began eating healthier. She never said, "We're going to change how we eat," or "We're not buying this type of food anymore." She just gradually stopped buying it. We didn't even notice the change, but somehow we transitioned from junk food junkies to pretty clean eaters. So how do you make this transition with your own family? 1. Gradually make healthy swaps and stop buying junk. Don't announce to your household that you're making changes or that you won't be buying certain foods anymore. You'll get immediate backlash. Just slowly start making healthier swaps and stop buying one unhealthy staple at a time. For instance, you don't need to tell everyone that you made spaghetti with whole wheat pasta tonight. Just make it. They probably won't even realize it, and if they do, all they need to know is that you tried a different brand. If you don't make a big deal of it, neither will they. 2. No food rules. Don't make food rules about what is and isn't allowed in the house, or what your kids can and cannot eat. Forbidding something only makes them want it more, and it can also give them hang-ups about food. Just stick with the everything in moderation approach and make healthy choices readily available so they're easier to make. And 3, keep it positive. I truly believe that I don't have any hang-ups about food or my body because growing up, I never once heard my mom speak disparagingly about herself or her body. Never ever say, "I'm fat" or "I'm gross." Not only do you not need to engage in negative self-talk, but when your kids hear it, they internalize it too. It's almost as if you're saying it to them. Instead, keep a positive outlook and make positive comments after you exercise or eat a healthy meal, such as, "I feel great," or "I'm getting in good shape." This way your kids start to make positive associations with eating healthy and working out too. Getting your family to make healthy changes is doable. You just have to make it gradual and focus on the positive effects. Before you know it, your entire family will be enjoying a healthier lifestyle without even realizing it. Don't Believe These Common Fitness Myths by Chalene Johnson of ChaleneJohnson.com. When it comes to fitness and weight loss, there are so many different opinions on how to approach your journey that it can sometimes get overwhelming and hard to decipher what's true and not true. I've had so many people ask me about these particular myths that I figured it would be good to address it. Myth 1. Muscle weighs more than fat. If you stop to think about this myth for a second, you'll realize just how silly it is. How can a pound of muscle weigh more than a pound of fat if they're both 1 pound? What this myth is really trying to get across is that muscle is more dense than fat, so it takes up less space in the body. Something that goes along with this myth is the idea that when you start a new workout program and you gain weight quickly, that the weight is new muscle. The weight is actually your muscles responding to the new workout. If you've started doing something new, like running or lifting, you know the next morning you're going to be sore. That soreness is your muscles responding to the trauma the new workout brought. Since the muscles are working in new ways and are exposed to trauma, they require more water. This water is the weight you see on the scale, not new heavy muscle. Let your clothes be the judge, and if you're sore, don't weigh in. Myth 2. You burn more calories during a workout rather than after. The reality is that it depends on the workout. Some workouts are more effective at calorie burning during, and some are better after. Workouts that burn more after are usually heavy strength training or cross training. If you're doing things like high-intensity interval training or heavy strength training, fat will continue to burn for upwards of 24 hours after. The best workout for burning fat is actually a little bit of everything, which is why high-intensity interval training has a longer burn. It's working on strength and cardio at the same time. A shorter workout may also burn more fat longer if the intensity is high enough. The best way to achieve the longest burn is to look for a combination workout, something that incorporates high-intensity interval training and low impact if possible. Myth 3. When you lift weights, you bulk up. Many of those that identify as female often think of this myth because they don't want to look like a bodybuilder. Lifting weights, especially heavy weights, will transform your body and will help to keep your body fat at a lower percentage. Muscle dramatically increases in size when testosterone is present, which is higher in those born genetically male than those born female. Since those born genetically female have lower levels of muscle-building hormones, it's almost impossible to bulk up by lifting heavy. And myth 4, you can spot reduce fat. Most probably already know you can't spot reduce or spot correct fat. We all wish we could, though. The reality is that the amount of fat cells you had during puberty is the same amount of cells you have now. Unfortunately, you do not have control over where your body decides to distribute fat cells. So your best approach is overall reduction of fat. This happens in the kitchen. Get your diet right and you will shed the pounds. You just listened to the posts titled, How to Get My Family to Eat Healthy, and Don't Believe These Common Fitness Myths by Chalene Johnson of ChaleneJohnson.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search, but match. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring all in one place so easy because Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. So the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/health. Just go to Indeed.com/health right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/health. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Start your wellness journey at Whole Foods Market, where it's Jumpstart January through the 16th. Stock up on supplements with some of the year's biggest savings. Plus, save on air-chilled organic boneless skinless chicken breasts, organic Honeycrisp apples, organic large Hass avocados, and more. And since Whole Foods Market is the only certified organic national grocer, it's easy to make them your wellness destination. Jumpstart your January now at Whole Foods Market.
Dr. Neal here for my commentary. I want to add to Chalene's statement about fat distribution on the body. She's absolutely right. We don't have control over where our bodies decide to distribute fat cells. That's all based on our genetics. That also means we don't have any say on where the body decides to shrink those fat cells either. That means when our bodies do decide to use the fat in our cells for energy, we don't get to pick which cells will give up that fat. Like Chalene, I wish we had that choice. Instead, much of it is based on our genetics. So let's say we've been eating fewer calories and exercising more, and we've been doing this consistently. Eventually, the body will turn to using the fat in our fat cells for energy. By using the fat in our fat cells for energy, it's going to shrink those fat cells, which is exactly what we want to have happen. The problem is, which fat cells the body decides to shrink is out of our control. So, some may find that their forearms and wrists start to shrink, but nothing happens around their waist or hips. Others may find their chests get smaller, but their thighs stay the same. Again, this is all based on individual genetics. But don't lose hope. With time and consistency, the body will eventually turn to burning fat in the areas we've been hoping for, like around the belly. But for most of us, that's the last place the body will turn when it comes to burning fat, which is all the more reason to have patience with yourself as you continue your lifestyle journey. All right, that'll do it for today. I hope you have a great start to your week, and I'll see you back here tomorrow as usual, where your optimal life awaits.